just wanted to check on you a little bit. There was the charging foul, but also you hit the floor a lot of times at both ends of the court tonight. Thought I saw you limping a little one time. How did you come out of that game? You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I sprained my ankle against. I rolled my right ankle against Toronto in like the first couple minutes of the game, and then right after that we had sack and a back-to-back with Indiana. So it was like I didn't really have no real recovery time, So it's just been kind of like irritated. And then tonight on one of the last plays on the side out of bounds, right after the charge, we took it out on the side, and I broke deep to get the catch. And I feel like his leg or his knee or maybe his foot might have kicked me in my left calf. So I don't know. That's probably why I was limping, because he kicked me. So it was a little sore. But I mean, nothing. I feel fine coming out of it. Nothing that I would be concerned over.
Next question is coming from Aaron Ventress with the Oregonian.
You guys gave up 66 in the first half, 40 in the second half. How satisfying was that defensive performance, and what was the difference?
I think we should be proud of ourselves and the effort that we had in the second half. And, we know the first half wasn't good enough. And, this is a game that we had to have. And we came out and we had a lot more pride on the defensive end. I thought our communication was much better. Our physical presence was much better. We just had a lot more urgency about us. And, I think we've shown shown flashes of that, over the course of these first 13 games. It's just a matter of us being able to sustain that level and be consistent at doing it. So I think we are happy that we're able to put a half like that together, but we got to continue to work at becoming a team that, can hang our hats on. We can, whether we making or missing shots, we can be that type of team consistently, because it's what we're going to need. We're not a team that can turn it on and turn it off and think that we're just going to come out here and outscore every team. So that type of effort and energy, and, how we had, DJ flying in there, crashing the glass, Melo playing physical in the paint, Ennis blocking shots. He blocked 5 shots tonight. GT being physical and aggressive into the ball. We had that type of urgency in the entire second half, and we only gave up 40 points. So obviously we're not going to be able to do that every half. Guys in this league are too good. But if we just bring that type of focus and energy and communication, it'll be a great result for us.
Thanks.
Next question is coming from Jason Quick with The Athletic.
Dane, you've drawn a lot of charges over the years. Can you explain kind of the mental process you have to go through to take a charge? Because, I mean, you not only have to get in position, but, the physical aspect of drawing a charge.
I grew up in a physical family for one. So the contact part is like the least of my concern. I'm willing to stand in there and bang. I think you guys know that about me now, offensively and defensively. I play a lot in the paint offensively as well. So I think that's part of it, but it's also, your IQ, recognizing things happening on the floor. And I think to position yourself to make those kind of plays, you just got to recognize the action. You got to see how the action is developing and know personnel and things like that. And on that play, we came out of the timeout saying, we don't want to allow them to get a look at a 3, make them play in the paint, make them attack. And I saw, I was watching the ball. My man took it out. He threw it in. I think Trey came downhill off a screen onto our big. And I know he's a right-handed driver. He likes to get to that right hand. The 3 wasn't falling for him. He had just tried to hit one in transition to take the lead that he missed. So I knew he was probably going to try to go downhill. So when my man cleared out to the weak side, I just lagged. That's what we call it, a lag. And then I become the MIG, which is the most important guy for us on the defense. And I saw him coming downhill. And I let it develop a little bit, and I let him pick up some steam. And once I saw him getting downhill, trying to turn the corner on the big, instead of me getting out of the paint and chasing my man, I just stayed there, and I got outside the restricted area, and I just stayed in there. He left his feet. And at that point, I knew all I needed to do was just, make sure I was out of the restricted area and be in front of him.
Is there a difference in the feeling of hitting a game-winning shot and making a game-winning defensive play?
I think it's more exciting when you hit a game-winning shot. That's the game is about making shots. Obviously defense wins championships. Everybody says that, but I think a person would be lying to you if they said they were more excited about me taking a charge. Basically to seal the game tonight, or if I was hitting a step back three. They would want to see the step back three. For excitement and just for the fun of the game. But I think a play like tonight is a valuable play. It's something that we've talked about since training camp, selling out to the help, having our teammates back, and trusting that the next guy is going to do their job. Because I left my man, in the opposite corner. That's a long way, and I got to trust somebody else to drop. And if he throws it there, to take that first pass. And I think that's part of what we struggle with is like leaving our man and coming all the way to help one of our teammates and having to count on the next person. It takes time to develop that type of trust. And this is our first year doing this type of defense. So I think that's why that's such a big play. So for a fan, of course, you would say the hitting the game winning shot is more exciting. But for us to be our best, those are the kind of plays that we got to make.
Next question is coming from Jamie Hudson with NBC Sports Northwest.
Amy, you mentioned Ennis, Derek Jones Jr., and Gary and Mello, and how everyone was stepping up. So with CJ and Nurk out, how much of this was such a team win tonight?
It was definitely a team win. I think I played the game the same way that I would usually play, and with CJ being out, I probably would have attacked more and been more aggressive on the offensive end. But when I got the ball across half, they was running two guys at me, far beyond the 3-point line. So it put us in a position where I had to make the right play and draw two people and give the ball up. GT made big shots. Melo made big shots. DJ was going in there, getting us extra possessions. In his play, strong in the paint. When you getting that type of effort from everybody, you able to pull out wins like this. So it was definitely a team effort. Everybody contributed, especially down the stretch. Harry as well. I can't leave Harry out because he was big for us. Hoodie. I mean, everybody literally. I remember plays of every guy coming in ready. So that's what we need.
Coming back to Dwight James with NBC Sports.
Yeah, Dame. Ennis comes in and blocks 5 shots, and talk about how easily he seems to slide into that starting role. I mean, he did it before for you guys, and now the transition. Does it change your game at all to have him there rather than Nurk? Are you doing things more or less because of that, or what's the situation?
I mean, they different players, so obviously I'm not going to play the game like he's Nurk, or I'm gonna play it like he's Ennis. And that means that it's going to be a little bit different. But I think him, his effort, on the defensive end, he's trying to do the right thing. He's always asking questions. He's always communicating and trying to do the right thing. And like you said, we've been here with him before, where Nurk went down and he was the backup center, and we had to slide him in there, and we counted on him. And we got in the playoffs, and his shoulder was messed up. He was fast and he had a lot going on, but we was able to count on him. And I think because of that, we come into this situation comfortably. We trust him. We know him. We have a lot of experience with him. And he's number 3 pick of the draft. He was a starter in Utah. He was a starter in OKC for a long time. And he knows who he is, and he knows what we need him to do. So, I mean, we expect a good effort from him.
Coming back to Jason Quick with The Athletic.
Hey, Dame, at the beginning of the season, you said if you guys were going to improve in defense, it had to start with you and CJ. Just kind of give me your assessment on how you feel that you and CJ have lived up to that.
I think even by the numbers, we've stepped up defensively. I think we've been more attentive on the defensive end as far as effort and as far as just thinking, and processing what's going on out there. We've been sharper in the scouting report. Me and him talk about it. And I've always been somebody that I watch every game, on League Pass. I get clips from John Yim. I watch the game a lot, and I watch teams a lot, especially when they're coming up on our schedule. I watched Atlanta play last night in Utah. Before that, I watched Toronto play at Golden State. I watched Indiana play versus Sacramento before we played them. I mean, and I think when you do that, you give yourself a chance to be just a little bit more prepared. Obviously a lot of it is going to be physical. Guys are going to try to attack and you're going to get screened and all those things. But when you're familiar with what a team likes to do and what individual guys like to do and styles and things like that, you'll be surprised how often people just do the same thing over and over every game when you watch enough tape on them. We creatures of habit. A lot of these guys do the same moves, including myself. We run the same plays, we expect the same calls, and if you watch film, you'll see it. And I say that to say when you take the time to do that type of homework on your opponents, it makes it easier to defend. When you hear play calls, you know what action is coming, so you don't gotta be running out there like a chicken with your head cut off. You just you seeing it develop and you recognizing actions and you recognizing plays and where the ball might be going and what they might be trying to get done. And it makes it easier to defend. And, it puts you in a position where you're able to come up with stops and be more effective on that end.
And is it going too far to say that, you taking this charge? I mean, I know you've taken them in years past, but you taking this charge as an example of you kind of leading on the defensive end and backing up what you said at the beginning of the season.
I mean, I wouldn't say all that. I think when I first came here, my first, 3 or 4 years, everybody was talking about my defense and all that stuff. And I think over the last 4 years, and this is going to be the 5th year, I think it's been pretty quiet. Obviously it's going to, I got a lot of responsibility on the offensive end, so it's going to be some lapses and, I might get tired every once in a while, but I think for the most part, I've constantly focused on improving as a defender. And I think this year I just came into it committed to that end as well. I think DJ, he picks the ball up full court. He's applying pressure. He's using his length and his athleticism and working really hard. Same with Rocco, same with GT, and obviously they don't have the same responsibility as me on the other end of the floor. So, I mean, I'm going to make sure that I'm competing and I'm sharp and that I'm, doing my job on the defensive end and doing my best to be the example, but I think as far as leading the charge, I think we doing it collective. It's not just me every time or DJ every time, we got to be able to make these plays, regardless of who it comes from. We just got to know, like, we can count on each other, be on a string, and make sure that we sustaining that. So to answer your question, I wouldn't say, that's me leading the charge. That's me showing that I'm there. I'm committed to doing my job on the defensive end.
All right, thanks, Dame. We'll wrap it there.